Hi, everyone. It's Tuesday afternoon, and it's time for a Tuesday afternoon story. Welcome. I hope that you're having a very good day. It's Tuesday afternoon. I'm Rabbi Ed Feinstein. This is Valley Beth Shalom live and online, and I am hoping to share a story with you. Today is a very special day. Today is Yom HaAtzmaut. Today is Israel Independence Day. Today is the birthday of the state of Israel, 72 years ago. So we need to use our imaginations. We need to remember that 72 years ago, there was no Israel. That is, before you were born, before I was born, during the time of my mom and dad, there was no Israel. Jewish people didn't have a country to live in. They lived in every country. There were Jews in America, and there were Jews in France, and Jews in England, and Jews in Germany, and Jews in Italy, and Jews in Norway, and even Jews in China. There were Jews everywhere. All over the world, Jewish people lived. But no place was home. We were always living in a place where other people let us live. And sometimes those other people said, "You got to go." And when they said we had to go, well, we had to go. So in the year 1897, there was a great, great leader. His name was Theodore Herzl. He was a very good-looking man with a big beard. He looked like somebody in the Bible. In fact, people thought that maybe God sent him to take care of the Jewish people because Theodore Herzl, he had an idea. And here was his big idea. It's time for the Jewish people to come home. It's time for Jewish people to have their own country. A country where we can speak our own language. We can speak Hebrew. A country where there is no day after Friday except Shabbat. A country where our holidays are the special days. A country where every Jewish person in the world can go and feel safe and feel at home and feel like they belong. So, Dr. Herzl led a big movement called Zionism. And in the year 1948, that dream came true. Theodore Herzl taught us one important idea. He said, "Im tirtzu enzo agada," if you really want it, if it's really important to you, if you have the desire that's so strong, it's not just a dream, it can really come true. So today we're celebrating Theodore Herzl's great dream, and we're celebrating the reality, the real accomplishment of creating a new Jewish state. And if you ever visit Israel, it's a wonderful place. It's a place where the lady in the supermarket on Friday will say, "Shabbat Shalom." It's a place where Jewish holidays are celebrated all around us. It's a place where a Coke bottle says Coca-Cola in Hebrew. It's a place where every Jewish person can feel like they belong. So let's tell a story about Israel. Why Israel? Of all the places in the world that God could have chosen to put us as a people, to give us as a home, why did God choose Israel? Well, there's an old story about this, and I thought you might enjoy it. There were two brothers. One lived on one side of the hill, and the other lived on the other side of the hill. One brother had a big family. He had a wife and many children. The other brother lived all by himself. They were farmers. And in the end of the season, when it was time to gather in all of the crops, the two brothers would gather in their harvest. And they would put the harvest in the barn. The fruits and vegetables and things they had grown go into the barn. The grain that they had grown went into their silos. Their animals were kept safe in the weather. But you know what happened? The brother who was all by himself couldn't sleep that night. He thought to himself, "I have all this food to eat. I have so much. God has blessed me with so much. But my poor brother, he has a big family. He probably needs it more than me. I'm going to bring him some." So he took two big baskets and he filled it up with stuff from his farm. He filled it up with fruits and vegetables, with cheese and bread, with things that he had made and things that he had grown, good treats for his brother. But he knew that his brother wouldn't take it, so he had to sneak. So in the middle of the night, He got up and he climbed up the hill, bump, 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 to the top of the hill, and all the way down to the other side of the hill, bump, 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 bump. And he put the good things that he had grown and brought into his brother's barn. Well, the brother woke up in the morning and he looked and guess what? There was more stuff in the barn than there should have been. Where did that come from, he thought. How could it be that there's so much stuff in my barn? So that night he couldn't sleep. And he said to himself, I have so much. I have so much. Everything I want I have in the world. And I have my wife and my children and my family. My poor brother on the other side of the hill, he's all by himself. I bet he's sad. I better bring him something. I better bring some things from my harvest. So he took 2 baskets and filled it up with fruits and vegetables and cheese and bread and olive oil and all sorts of goodies. And he climbed up the hill in the middle of the night, bump, 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 to the top, and all the way down, bump, 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 bump. And he snuck into his brother's farm and he put the stuff into his brother's barn. Well, that brother woke up in the morning and looked and said, wow, there's stuff here that shouldn't have been here. Where did it come from? And all day he wondered. But that night he had that same thought again. He said, my brother needs this more than me. He has so many people to feed, and I'm all by myself. I'll bring it to him. And he took 2 big baskets, and he filled it up with stuff, and he climbed up the mountain. Bum, 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 bum. And in the middle of the night, he put the stuff in his brother's barn. And the next night, of course, that brother said, I have a big family, and all my prayers have been answered, but my poor brother's alone. I better bring him something to make him happy. And he put things in baskets, good things to eat and good things to smell, and flowers and nice things from his farm, and he climbed up the mountain. Bum, 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 bum. And he put it in his brother's barn. Well, you can imagine that this went on for a whole month. That's right, every night. First one brother, then the other brother, then one brother, then the other brother. And then one night, it happened to be the night that the moon was brightest in the sky. Both brothers woke up at night, and both brothers said, my brother needs it more than me. I'm going to bring him something good. And both brothers filled their baskets, and both brothers started to climb the hill. Bump, 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 bump. And when they got to the top of the hill, bam! They whapped into each other. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? What are you doing with the baskets? What are you doing? And then the 2 brothers looked at each other and they realized that's what happened. And they put down the baskets and they gave each other big hugs and big kisses. And they said, I love you. You're my brother. I'm going to take care of you. Well, God saw this. God saw these 2 brothers, and God said, this is the hill of shalom. This is a hill of wholeness and of peace. This is a hill of love and of caring. This is where I will put my city, the city of shalom. Ir shalom in Hebrew. Ir shalom, Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. And that hill, that was the holy city where God had his temple put up. And the temple was put there and created by David and his son Solomon. King David, the great King David, who ruled Jerusalem and made Jerusalem a great city. The great King David, when he was an old man, he wrote a book of poems to remember all the things that he thought and felt in his life. And one of his poems is very famous. You know it. He wrote in his book, Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Isn't it wonderful when brothers and sisters and friends can live together in peace? That's what we dream about on the hill of Yerushalayim. And that is what we dream about on Yom HaAtzmaut. And it's in David's city of Yerushalayim tonight, today, that flags are flying and people are cheering and celebrating Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad, our brothers and sisters from all the corners of the world, all the countries of the world, have come together to celebrate in God's city of Yerushalayim, in the Jewish country of Israel. I wish you all a really good Hag Sameach, a happy Yom HaAtzmaut. Take good care of each other. Take good care of your families. Take good care of your brothers and sisters. That's what King David taught us. And be well.